Hello and good morning, ESA. It is not even 7 a.m. yet. What are we doing here? Well, we are raising money for charity, of course. Hello, I am Ishma, and with me I have... And we'll be running Soul of the Samurai. And as you can already see by this little menu at the start of the game here, there will be two characters in the game that we will respectively play one after the other. Kind of think of it like Resident Evil 2, where you have a Leon scenario and then you have a Claire scenario. However, it doesn't really matter in which order you play these. They will always be the same, so there's no A-B scenario type of shenanigans any here. But I guess today we'll actually go gentlemen first. We'll start with Kotaro. And that I will be playing, and once I have finished my scenario, I will give it over to Vojtas with Lynn. And after that, so once we have both of us have completed our scenario, that will be the point where the incentive for this run will come in, where we will go ahead and kill the true final boss of this game, to unlock the true ending. And then we will see who of us will actually get to land the killing blow, or actually do the whole final fight at this point. So you still have about, I want to say, 45 minutes-ish to get your donations in toward that incentive to, decide who of us will actually go ahead and do that. However, since, this is still a little bit of time away from that, let's just go ahead and get into the run of things. So let's get things started in 3, 2, 1, go! So the first thing you will probably notice about this game, it might look awfully familiar in a way if you've been around during the early PlayStation 2 days, because you will be heavily reminded of a small little game called Onimusha. As you can see, we have our main character in a pre-rendered background. It is kind of 3D-ish with the walking and everything. We have samurais. It might remind you of another series called Resident Evil. So it's basically Resident Evil with samurai in a way, if you want to think about it like that, which, again, should heavily remind you of Onimusha. However, this game is actually older than Onimusha, because Onimusha released in 2001 in America and Europe. I mean, released late 2000, I want to say, in Japan. Produced by Capcom. However, this game actually released in 1999 on the PlayStation 1, bought by Konami. So they were actually a little bit ahead of that. However, I think Onimusha is the very much more well-known. Well, I mean, it spawned a series out of it. So the Samurai was like a one-off. However, you can already see where it kind of went with all of this. So we're just making our way through this little village. Kotaro here, this is basically his hometown. He just came back after, being away for an unspecified amount of time, I want to say. And we were just there, went to this little house to visit an old childhood friend of him, and he just caught Kotaro up to what is the current happenings in town, because we are now getting attacked by all of these samurai. And oh no, hit the thing way locked onto the second enemy. Why would you do that? Kind of worked out. But yeah, now we're getting attacked by these samurai, and Kotaro was like, okay, what the hell is going on here? Why are these people attacking me? And now they're attacking this monk. So we're gonna save our friend over there from these guys. And as you can probably tell, the game is a little bit jank with its controls. Because Kotaro has this 3-hit combo. However, it is very slow to execute, and you can't really mash the buttons. You kind of like have to time it out with the end of your swing. So once you stop one of your sword swings, you then press the button to continue the combo. And here we have our first boss. What you would normally do in, I don't want to say a proper speedrun, but if you were going to for world record times, you would not hold down the block button as I am right now, but instead you would try to parry his attacks and then, well, do a counter attack with that. And like, think of the Isen mechanic in Onimusha. However, since, this is a marathon and we want to go a little bit safe, I will just block his attacks and then counterattack from there. I'm not going for the, proper counter, I want to say. So this fight will take a little bit longer because the, for lack of a better word, the Isen deals a buttload of damage. This guy will do this little special attack there where you see the moon. However, you have a lot of time during this little cutscene to just queue up your dodge, and I'm not getting any of these jumping attacks to slow down his health a little bit more. But yeah, if he hits you with that attack from his, you lose about half of your health, so obviously it is not good. It's early in the morning, guys. Bear with me here. Okay, but we killed him. Nice. And we got another weapon out of that. And that was actually the first chapter of the game. Each character has 6 chapters, if I remember correctly.
Maybe Lynn has 1 less, but...
Oh, actually, it does.
Yeah,
okay.
I think so, at least.
I thought it was also 6, but they are shorter. Keep in mind that if you look at the leaderboards for this game, all the times of Kotaro are like in, I want to say, the low 20-ish minutes roundabout. I'm currently the world record holder with new game Kotaro, which is like a 22:43, if I remember correctly. Something like that, whereas Lynn is a little bit shorter. I think she hovers world record times around 18 minutes.
Yeah, 18:07. If I actually did record my round,
yeah.
then it would be 18:03, but here we are.
I mean, it's the classic, right? You go to a marathon, you practice your runs, you put on a good show during the week, and then you're just so good that you just casually beat the world record, but of course you didn't record it. So yeah, I guess we'll see more runs of this game from you once the event is over. Well, I'm just getting absolutely bodied over here. So this is chapter 2. We are now on our way to the graveyard. I think Kotaro wants to pay respects to his parents that died in the meantime. It's a little bit while since I played this game casually, so excuse me if my knowledge of this story has become a little bit rusty. But yeah, as you saw in the inventory screen just now, there are a lot of slots to get more weapons out of this. How it generally works for most of the game is that after every boss, at the end of every chapter, you get a new sword, which actually have different properties, like the mono out that we have now. As you can kind of tell, I mean, it's a little bit hard by the angle, but it is way longer than the sword that we had before, which you can actually make use of, because you saw it earlier happen already that I was able to hit multiple enemies with a single sword strike, and obviously a longer blade makes it even easier. But yeah, we now have to escort this woman through the graveyard, because we are all getting attacked by these guys for some reason. I could have gone for a third strike to just kill them. It's a little bit hard to tell the distance between these guys if they are that far into the screen, so I missed my sword strike there. But you can already tell if you miss like even a single attack, it kinda wastes quite a bit of time, because these sword strikes are very slow. There's very deliberate combat going on here. So obviously you kinda want these guys to be very aggressive, because they actually attack faster than you. So if you go for the first swing, there's a very high chance that you would just get absolutely bodied by these guys. And as we noticed in practice, or the first 2 chapters of Kotaro are very volatile when it comes to a speedrun. Like, you know, we both obviously played the game casually with all the characters to get the true ending. However, well, I know the speedrun for Kotaro, vojtas knows the speedrun for Lynn. We don't really know the speedruns for the respective other character. So when I was saying that, you know, I'm very afraid of the first 2 chapters of the game, he didn't necessarily believe me at first. Then we started practicing together, and after a while I was like, oh yeah, I can see why you are afraid of this. Because there's just so many enemies at the start with Kotaro who already have their weapons drawn. So whenever you enter a screen, you know, the enemies are already ready to just absolutely mess you up. Whereas you can see it a little bit later when Kotaro will play as Lynn, that all the enemies have their weapons sheathed, so it's a little bit easier to just run past them.
I would say way more easier.
Because, you know, obviously fighting these guys takes a while. And, however, I actually have to go ahead and kill these guys, otherwise the game will actually not let me progress to the next screen. So it's okay-ish, you know, because I have to do it, but it's still slower compared to just running past them, as you did see me do in the first chapter of the game. And this is now. I was gonna say, these guys are doing pretty well standing together like that, and then of course they separated. And I'm just gonna go ahead and take a cheeky little safety save for the marathon here, because we are coming up into the second boss. And he is an absolute unit. He is a lad. So let's see how this goes. Because the thing with this next boss is you basically cannot block his attacks, even though he's just using his fists. And I mean his body. Like, he actually gives you some butt bumps as well if you're standing behind him. And there, yeah, good start. Good start. Slapping me around, then I should probably heal just for the sake. And I'm not getting any of these downward jumping attacks. Yep. Oh, he actually hit me with that. Yeah, that is the attack that you do want to see him do, but not hit you with it like this. I don't know how that didn't hit me, but here we are. Okay, actually landed one of these. I am so glad. Yeah, that was the butt bump. He has a mighty butt, and he killed me. Good thing I did that safety save, and that is exactly why I'm afraid of the first 2 chapters of the game, because this might happen. I mean, to be fair, I probably could have healed there just to not have that happen, but, you know, since it's a marathon run and it's only the start of the game, I do want to be a little bit conservative with my healing items, because the game doesn't exactly get easier the further in you are.
Yeah, so there are no checkpoints in this game, so once you die, it's just game over screen, and then load your last save position, if you even saved.
It's like, again, like the Resident Evil games or Onimusha or whatever it is. You know, it's an old game, it's a PlayStation 1 game. We didn't have anything like auto saves or whatnot back in the days. No, you had your save spots, and you used them, and if you didn't and you died, it would be sad. Okay, so let's just try this again. Wow, he is just absolutely murdering. Ooh. Okay, well, we'll just take the heals. Oh my! Oh, he is just ruthless. He is angry this morning. Probably because, you know, he has to be up so early.
Didn't have his coffee yet.
Somebody bring this man a coffee, please. But yeah, once this fight is over. Okay, we're out of healing items now. My body.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice, okay. Took a bit, was a little bit scary. But
honestly, I have never seen him be this angry. Normally how this fight goes, after I do my combo, he will either do one attack, or he will immediately start running away and go for his, you know, slam attack, so to speak. He couldn't quite do that. He actually just stuck around on camera. He really wanted to be shown on ESA, I guess. He's so happy to be here. Yeah, because you can't block his attacks, you know, even though he's just using a fist. Can't block them with your sword for some reason. I mean, again, he's a very big guy. So, goes back to that. Too hard, but yeah, here we now in having a good time. I mean, that guy probably isn't, judging by the sounds, but we're having a good time here at ESA, right? You can tell it's very early in the morning for us. But yeah, this is the 3rd chapter. We are in a little bit of a labyrinth here. I have to make my way through it. However, seeing how this one is going, I'll probably go ahead and grab another safety save in just a moment here. Because there are a lot of, or not a lot of, but there are a couple insta-kill traps here, some pits I can fall into while I'm trying to grab the next story items in order to progress this. And seeing how this just goes, I'm a little bit afraid of it now. The goal of this chapter is basically to grab 2 items and then place them. Because these are bottomless, or not bottomless pits, but they are very, well, they are pits. Let's just say it like that. And you actually slide down here, so if you grab this sword figurine on the way down, because it takes, I want to say half a second until the text pops up that tells you, okay, you have grabbed this item. You are still sliding down there a little bit. And during that time, you can absolutely fall into that pit and just die. And then you're sad if you haven't made a safety save. Thank God it didn't happen, but, you know, the possibility was there.
May I hop in with a quick donation?
Sure, go ahead.
We have $25 from Esper Bucket saying, Aishma playing a samurai game? Unheard of. Sorry I couldn't see you in person at ESA this year, Aishma. Good luck with the run, and to you, Vojtas. Is going towards actually Aishma killing the boss, who is now only $45 behind. So if you want to make that happen, you can still donate to this pool and also donate to this target, to the viewfinder target, who still need $450 to be met. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Esper. He's a regular in my chat, so always nice to hear from these people. And yeah, just taking another safety save here because we are coming up on the next boss, and he's a bit of a troll. Now, whereas this monk at the end of the last chapter was an absolute unit staying on screen. The next one will just teleport around after I have killed these 3 zombies. So we're just trying to bunch them up a little bit. And then I'll hit them with the attack. Oh, God, I am not getting jumps. Good morning. Come on, lads. There we go. I forgot what the next boss is called, but he's like a sorcerer, He's hovering in the air, he's shooting magic attacks at you, and you kind of just want to run around until he does an attack and then get one of your own in, after which he will teleport around. And then you basically repeat this. And it kind of depends on which attacks he will do, because most of them will knock you down. However, the getting up animation in this game is so long that by the time you're standing again, he has already queued up his next attack, and he can just combo you to death. And there's another thing that can happen during this run that we actually found out during practice that I do hope will not happen, so I'm not gonna say it until this fight is over. Let's just take a little time. Also, it is obviously random where he teleports to, so there's a lot of RNG in this fight that can absolutely cost you time. Yeah, there we go. Hit. I think we should be in phase 2. Oh, wait. Okay, there we go. Because when he's very low on health, he doesn't teleport anymore, but instead he just floats around like that, and he's very hard to hit like this. So that is why I saved up all my special energy. You can see these blue bars in the top left corner. It tells me how often I can use my special still. And you want to save all of that for the end of the fight, so you can do this little spin attack, because it can hit twice. That was the button. And that is very important in order to be able to hit that guy a little bit more easily.
Yeah, so the thing we were worried about, he has one lighting attack that like flash your screen for a bit, and when he was in the stage where he just goes from the left to right, if you like hit him like frame perfectly or something like that, just the screen just stays white.
Yeah.
But the game still continues, but you can see anything.
You basically have to defeat that guy blind at this point, because you can't see anything anymore. And I've never seen that happen before. It only happened in practice. And I kind of blame the console for that, I think. Because at home I mostly play this on an emulator in order to save up on my consoles and discs and whatnot. But we're actually playing this on an original PlayStation 2 with a copy of the game. And I don't know, maybe there is some console shenanigans going on here or whatnot. I have no idea, but I was very afraid when I saw that happening during practice for what will happen during the run. And yeah, this guy showed up, we killed him, I guess, and that was that. And yeah, that was already the 3rd chapter of the game, so we're like halfway through-ish with my part with Kodaro here. And now we get to the quote-unquote best part of the run, the nest. Because if you take our runs separately, they are about 20 to 25 minutes long. And obviously, you need a 5-minute auto-scroller in this.
Shoutouts to the music, it's a really banger.
Yeah, it is an absolute bop. And I don't know about you, but it is 7. I could go for a bit for breakfast, right? Alright. See you guys later.
Welcome back, guys. While you were gone, we had a $10.
Just in time.
We had a $10 donation from Street Back Guy saying, "You guys got this. Please show us the true way of the samurai." And I believe this is the true way of the samurai.
Absolutely. I mean, how can you fight on an empty stomach, right? Like, we couldn't get breakfast before the run because the buffet wasn't open yet, but it opens at 7, so, you know, worked out perfectly.
Just in time. With the monk. He helped us.
By the way,
This
this donation was going towards you again, Ashma, to beat the last boss.
Keep it coming.
So you are $35 away, I believe. So you can keep donating towards this if you want Ashma to actually beat the last boss this time. Keep them going.
Keep in mind that is for the true final boss at the very end of the run, so you still have time to get your donations in for that. But yeah, story-wise, so basically what happens, we found out that in this cave in the 3rd chapter, that there are soul bugs that basically infect the populace. And basically they have broken out after we went down there and killed the guy who was in control of the soul bugs. And now basically the whole village was infested, and that is why they're trying to attack you. During that segment, while we were, grabbing breakfast, you actually saw a counter in the top right of the screen. If you manage to kill, I want to say 300 enemies during those 5 minutes, you actually get like a rusty sword kind of thing. And you then can turn that into the local blacksmith, and he will eventually forge it into the best sword in the game. However, that takes extra time to do that, and we don't really need the weapons, so yeah, we just don't do that. Because, why would you fight enemies if you can just stand in a corner and have them do absolutely nothing? So oh, there we actually see there the, Isin, the counter attack.
That's
totally not just by accident that I did that. But yeah, after this infestation broke out, Kodoro wants to go ahead and check on his friend Yukinosuke that we saw, quote-unquote, in a cutscene at the very start of the game, or in the 1st chapter, I want to say, not quite at the very start. But yeah, now he has also been infested by the soul bugs, and we have to fight them. And this is the best theme in the game. Changed my mind. It is such a bob. However, the fight is also absolute ass. Because the problem is, he's also a samurai. It's a bit of a mirror match, and you have to wait for him to attack and then retaliate, because otherwise he will just block all of your attacks. So he can just absolutely stall for time here. But yeah, we were talking to other people, and I want to say that the OST for this game is way too good for the game. Like, the composer went hard on the music. So yeah, I want to see some cat jam chat, please. I know it's early, but this should wake you up.
So this guy also has like 2 phases. You're gonna see it when he's like gonna put the katana down, and he's gonna start doing the other attack.
Yeah, he can either stay on the ground or immediately roll out of it. Obviously, I want him to stay on the ground so I can get an attack in, but it's not a pleasure. But there we go. Now he's on phase 2. You can see him being in this EI stance, and all of his attacks are unblockable now and deal a buttload of damage. So I want to try and get close and hit him with my spin attack again, and there we go. Sadly, that ends the music. I hope you guys enjoyed that. We will hear it later during Vojtas' side of the story again. And that was already the second to last chapter from my end. So we will now be in my last chapter, chapter 6. Where we'll go ahead and, fight the evil warlord daimyo that is obviously trying to rule the world through the use of the soul bugs. How's that going for you, buddy? The other nice thing that I really appreciate in this game is that you can just skip all of the cutscenes with the touch of a button. Where was that in your game, Onimusha? Because, if you go ahead and compare the games, right? Like, I want to say that, at least if you do a New Game Plus Ultimate run of Onimusha, the time, or the estimate is probably around the same, 55 minutes. However, during Onimusha, it's like, or the split, rather, is about 30 minutes of gameplay and 25 minutes of unskippable cutscenes. I'm not sure if that is better than what we have to do here with our $500 scroller, but I guess it is what it is. Because you can actually see the difference if you were to play Genma Onimusha was the release on the Xbox of Onimusha, which actually had the option to skip cutscenes. So it like cuts the runtime just in half. But yeah, as you can see, a lot of enemies here that we're just trying to wiggle our way through. I think going pretty well so far. Ugh. Oh yeah, we're just making our way through the castle here. Let's get to the final boss, or well, final boss on my side. Not the true final boss. I'll fight that later. Our incentive. And there will just be a lot of fights in here.
And yeah, this like final boss for your story ending is gonna be a little bit different for mine, because when we're gonna arrive there, you already like finished him. So it's gonna be like the second stage of that boss. But we're gonna see that in like, what, 20 minutes.
So I want to be a little bit careful here, like, yeah, that is exactly what. You can see these guys in armor here. Their attacks deal a lot of damage. We're nearly at the end though, so please don't kill me. Not sure why I'm picking these up, because I already have a lot of healing, but, you know, I guess it's safety. It's a marathon after all. Just a little. Thank you. But really. So the fun thing is we're coming up on my last boss here, and we got this sword, I forgot the name, from Yukinosuke, our friend that we killed again in the last chapter. And we also now have, you know, an EI stance where we sheath attack the enemy, and this boss here, this is the Daimyo, he is not having a good time against this weapon type, as you can see in just a minute here. So we just, oh, hello, he actually got an attack off, that is rare. Because he can't defend against this, so you can just try and get him, you know, a little bit into a corner here and then just wail on him.
But this guy can do 2 healings. So
there we go.
we really kill him that fast that it's just whatever.
And with that, I will graciously hand the controller off to my partner over there. And yeah, we have to... There we go.
We have to watch a little bit of cutscenes and the credits before I can start, so...
I guess at least, you know, we can have an eye on who actually composed the music, because I always forget who it was. But even the ending credits, it's just... They're alive at this time of the day. So hope you guys are back home enjoying this.
Well, this is going just a reminder that the poll for who will be killing the last boss is still going. Yeah, Aishma is still $35 behind, but you can make that shift you still have during the remainder of the Lynn run to do so. Also here to remind you that the viewfinder controller cam incentive needs $450 to be met. So definitely donate towards this. You can donate towards both if you do a donation on Tiltify, and hopefully you can also reclaim a reward as well. If you give $40, you can get one of the event t-shirts. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so Link character is gonna be a little bit different gameplay-wise as well compared to your samurai, because she's a ninja. If you notice the pickup items for Kotaro, it was always healings, but for me it's gonna be some shurikens, kunais, and other stuff.
It's actually very important for the rounding as well, because as you just said, with Kotaro, if you pick something up, you always know it will be some kind of healing item. Whereas Lynn is a little bit more complicated in that fashion, where just actually really has to know which items he needs to pick up in order to, well, make the boss fights go fast. Because there's one particular boss, I think it's in the 3rd chapter, that can be an absolute troll if she wants to.
So we start in the city and we have to talk to 2 guys how to get to some place that I completely forgot.
I think it's just the forest or something. Like the story basically is that Lynn comes to this village in search of her ninja compatriots. And, you know, obviously, they're ninja. You never know where they are, so you just gotta talk to the local populace to get like a hint, okay, where did they actually go on their mission?
So compared to Kotaro, we get the training flashback way earlier, like that's supposed to teach you the combat.
The thing that I always found a little bit funny, if you take a moment to look at these, you know, flashback cutscenes to their childhood, they're already wearing the same clothes. So, you know, it always gets me thinking like, okay, did they actually buy the same exact clothes again when they were adults, or did the clothes just, you know, grow with them? And I was like, let us know through your donations what you think about that.
And like we mentioned before, this is way easier than Codero because they all have to draw their weapons first. I don't know why though, like why it's that way for you and that way for me. Okay, so this guy is like the leader or something. He can spawn enemies if you let him to do that, but if I'm just gonna spam the 3 attacks, he will not do anything. Hopefully.
The thing with Lynn is, you can see it here, she actually has like a 5-hit combo compared to Kodaro's 3-hit combo. But if you only go for like 3 attacks where she does the kick, it kind of stuns the enemy and you can restart your combo before they have a chance to retaliate, so you can, yeah, stun lock him. What does it right there? Very good. Also, always, we're taking all these safety saves just so you guys can read all these haikus that they put on the game. No other reason. We will never need any of these saves. Monk.
Obviously.
If I can hop in real quick, we have $10 from Texan Red Wolf asking where are we going for the next Elder Scroller now?
You're gonna see in a bit.
I mean, I haven't grabbed a drink yet, so. But yeah, that's the fun run, or the fun thing, I should say, about this run with the auto-scrollers. Because, spoilers, it's gonna happen again. Because yes, these are, you know, respectively, let's say 25-minute-ish run compared to a not quite 20 minutes run, but both of them have like a 5-minute auto-scroller in them.
So this guy can be a pain, bit of a pain, how I just shown. Like, ideally what I want to do is get behind him and spam the 3 attacks again, but he doesn't really want to do that. And this guy was also in your story, like for a bit, briefly shown, but then he turned into a zombie.
You saw him like briefly before I fought the first boss in the first chapter. Like he was the monk that I was rescuing from the samurai before I killed the first boss. So there is definitely, you know, a little bit of overlap there, which I do enjoy. That, you know, not that the stories aren't completely separate. They actually do tie into each other, which is pretty cool to see. Another thing is, you saw when we hit enemies, you know, they have like a little spurt of blood coming out of them, which is like this pinkish purple color. You can actually select the blood color which you want in this game. You have your, you know, your typical red. I think you have yellow, teal, blue, green, purple, black, and invisible if you want to turn it off completely. We decided for this showcase on the purplish pink.
So this is the first pickup that I'm gonna do for the boss later in this chapter as well. And funny thing, if I just hold left and sprint, she's just gonna sprint in a place for a bit for whatever reason.
Game not quite caught up to what you're trying to do there.
I'm gonna equip the second weapon because I do believe it does a bit more damage. And a random ninja gonna appear. And you can skip most of the enemies in this game, but for whatever reason, you can skip this random ninja.
He's very important to the story, okay.
Yeah.
There you go. But yeah, as you can probably tell, like a big point of the run is knowing what the next screen is that you're going into, so you can already start holding down the appropriate direction on the analog stick to start walking immediately when the screen transition happens. So you really have to map out the whole game in your head and know, you know, which direction where you're going. But obviously, since it's so early in the morning, you know, there are probably a couple of little mistakes from us when it comes to that. So don't expect a world record performance just this early in the morning. Or can I wonder?
Alright, so this is the worst boss in the game.
Yeah, I think she's called Raven. I'm not sure. I mean, the chapter is called Raven. I'm not sure if that is her name as well. But she's an absolute troll.
She does jump around a lot, and you can hit her in that.
Case in point. And yeah, it is absolute random what she does and when she does it. And she can just completely stall you by just repeatedly jumping out of range like that.
And also this stage is like designed that way that I have to go up as well, which is really difficult in this like 2.5 settings.
I mean, fun fact, you already saw Vojtas do that, but when she jumps in the background onto these bamboos, you actually can follow her, and very nice. However, the fight is not over yet, because obviously an obnoxious boss like that deserves a second phase that is even worse than that. So he will have to do it again. But this time she has wings, because Soulbug. As you can see, Raven can jump into the background like that. However, during my casual playthrough, I think I didn't know that I could follow her onto these constructions. So I was just, always on the ground, running around and just waiting for her to calm back down so I can hit her.
I do want to try to hit her with these explosive shurikens, but you can easily dodge that, so I had no luck so far with that.
But the thing is, you also don't want to use up all of them because you need them for another boss fight coming up in a short moment. But yeah, this as you can tell, right, as we said before, the world record for this particular segment is like 18 minutes, but you kind of depend on this fight going well in order to be able to beat that. And yeah, I think she was a little bit too much on screen for that. But at least it's before the auto-scroller, not after.
yeah, that would be.
Oh god, imagine she was like right at the end of that or something like that. That would be terrible.
Right, so we're gonna visit the beach for a bit. Like the whole Lynn story is about like finding her brother, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Like basically 3 ninja of her clan, went to this village to investigate what was happening with the whole, Soulbug's business that they didn't know about yet. And they basically went missing, and that is why Lynn, I don't know if she was sent there to investigate or if she went off on her own, probably the latter, as these stories go. And we met one, which was the monk, if I remember correctly, that we killed because infested, and Raven that we just fought was another one that we killed because she was infested. I think there was a third, but then there's also her brother, or the brother was the third, one of the two. Yeah, we'll see what happened to him very soon, once we get down to the actual beach there. So yeah, it's basically a cutscene where you meet him right there, and he's like, oh, blah 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 blah. I wanna help the daimyo take over the world, blah 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 blah. And
for this fight, there are like 3 Wolverine guys, let's say, and I want to hit this bomb that hits like all 3 of them. They can sometimes dodge that, even though it shouldn't be possible.
But that's the real kicker, right? Like you use this screen-wide attack and they can just dodge it. Like, excuse me? And they can just absolutely body you if they want to, because they are very fast. And depending on how many bombs actually hit them, they still have quite a bit of health left. Like the bombs will never kill them because they have too much HP for that. And you can only carry 3 bombs.
Well, there are no other bomb pickups
no
on the
other
way,
bomb
so
pickups, yeah.
we only have 3 for this. Sadly.
So you will always have to fight them a little bit at the end there. And yeah, her brother escaped, so we're now giving chase.
Good. That screen can go like really badly if they just hit you. And yeah, now we're gonna find our lost brother, yeah. But he's infected.
Oh no, he's evil. But the good thing is, this is the same boss music like Nukinosuke in my playthrough. So it's the Simba.
So this boss fight, I just try to do 1-hit attacks, otherwise he just gonna murder me. And he can also do this attack when he's invincible. Oh. Oh. Okay. Was scary.
Because yeah, keep in mind, even though he picked up a lot of items, a lot of those were like throwables, like attack items. So Vojtas actually doesn't have a lot of healing items with him.
I'm missing a lot of the explosive shurikens that I wanna hit him with. I wanna do it on when he's doing like the back, jumping in the back, but yeah, if you do the charge attack, I can't hit you, man.
Oh, wow, he's just dodging everything. What a troll.
It's again completely random what attack he does, but I don't think I've seen him doing that many charge attacks.
I think like when we did practice, I see him do like maybe 2 of those charge attacks per attempt.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Like all the bosses so far have been absolute trolls this morning.
Good.
Okay. Well, yeah, on to the last chapter for your character.
Well, there is still the.
Oh wait! Oh god! I forgot the best part. Oh my! How could I? How could I? You know, you're just getting this far into the run, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm getting close to the end. What about that?
So yeah, same for Kotaro. Lynn has a defeat wave of zombies that periodically spawns, but we can. Even if we wanted to, there is like a mini boss at the end of this, so we don't really want to do anything.
Before you go anywhere, I have $10 from Fudzimi saying, "Hey Vojtas, I hope you've done your homework because I have a question for you. Can you tell us about the story of the game?"
We will come back to that, like literally.
Good luck with the rest of the run and ESA with the rest of the marathon. Have fun.
The story. Well, Lynn is a ninja. She's searching for her brother. There are soul bugs. Soul bugs infect you. You get turned into the zombie. That's it.
So this is Assassin's Creed Shadows, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know where he went, honestly. I forgot what he wanted to do.
So I have another $10 just giving a little heart. And I'm here to remind you that yes, still 35 away, so Vojtas will be killing the boss for now, but you can still make that shift during the auto-scroller if you want. I also would like to emphasize that the viewfinder controller cam incentive has not been hit yet. $450 to go for this. So get your donations in.
I also want to quickly point out that depending on who kills the final boss, there are different cutscenes. And I don't want to be biased, but the Lynn one is way more hilarious.
Oh, going well.
Yeah, it's going well. Like, we didn't talk about it that much, but the yellow meter you see, if you kill enough enemies, you get a new special attack. By the way, I should have. I completely forgot about it. I should switch weapons. Sorry for turning off the music for a bit. Okay, back to the music. But yeah, if you fill up the yellow meter, which is like experience points, I guess, for killing enemies, you learn a new special attack. For Lynn, it's completely useless, because all of her like special attacks have to do something with kunais, and for you, it's pretty useful, like the first one, the spinny one that you've seen. Like I mentioned it before, but I arrived here at ESA and I did a practice round for a bit, and like the first one I tried was a world record by like 5 seconds, but I obviously didn't record it because I haven't like expected that. I did grind this for a bit. Like the Lynn category is pretty optimized, I would even say. Like we are pushing for sub 18, but it's really difficult with all like the Raven and our brother going ultra sane, you know. So
also, apparently it's becoming a thing of me eating during my runs in ESA. Because I remember last winter we did a run of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, what was it called? Shredder's Revenge? Yeah, the 6-player one. And we had pizza because it was very late. So either I will continue eating on stream or ESA should stop scheduling me early in the morning or late in the evening. This is so stupid. Like, they're not even doing anything. I mean, these are like true zombies anyway, right? They're just shuffling around. They're doing absolutely nothing. I mean, they attacked you a couple of times, I guess, because you're missing a little bit of health. But they are so passive. If you like play this, normally the way it intended, even then they barely attack you, just running around, killing hundreds of them. Or, well, you don't.
yeah, and like we mentioned before, if you actually kill them, a mini boss gonna spawn, and you get some kind of a weapon that we not really need in a speedrun.
I mean, it will eventually turn into the best weapon in the game, but yeah, it's too much of a time loss because you get it so late that it doesn't make up the difference. But now we're in the final chapter. So we are getting very close to the point where we would close or need to close the incentive. We have a little bit more time, maybe a minute or two. So yeah, get your last donations in for that incentive to see which one of us will actually go ahead and find the true final boss at the end of all of this, and which ending, which is probably the most important part, we'll get to see.
By the way, this road is random enemies gonna spawn on that. I have no clue what the enemies are on, like what the hell is that, but like the scissors one are the worst ones. Okay.
So we were here earlier with Kotaro, and you can see, there's a couple of different enemy spawns here. And because Lynn can actually, jump a little bit higher than Kotaro can, she will go all along the rooftops. And dodge more ninja. They can already see like the main castle keep in the background there, and once we are there, we should be able to close off the incentive to know which of us will do the deed.
Alright, so with $271 it will be Vojtas with Lynn.
Thank you guys so much for your donations. And you did the correct choice because Lynn has the superior ending cutscene, I want to say. But before we get to that, we will have to fight the final boss of her part of the game. So this is not the true final boss yet, that's just, the final boss.
Yeah, I'm gonna save just for safety because even though this should be free, again, we're just gonna spend 3 attacks. He can do a lot of damage if we let him to do.
Yeah, this is basically the same guy that I fought at the end of my campaign.
But he's zombie.
Yeah. Is it the soul bugs that
you can probably tell the gimmick of this game at this point.
Completely taking him over and mutated him. Again, it's interesting. But yeah, if this goes well, this guy will do absolutely nothing. Look at that face. He's so happy to be at ESA. Raising money for charity. Called someone for me. So that was that fight. Again, a complete pushover if it goes well. And now that we have played both campaigns back to back, we actually get to the true final boss, like the actual mastermind behind the Soulbugs infestation. It was not the evil daimyo. Who could have guessed? Because there was always like one other character in the background who did like, evilly trolley mustache things. So obviously he's the true, dude. Like there he was. and we'll fight him with Lynn.
And again, like my strat for this boss is just spam attacks. I don't know why, but the enemies can't really do anything about it. Like, he has a laser eyes, but that's...
Of course he does. This is medieval Japan after all. Like, don't you worry, with Kotaro, this fight wouldn't be that much different. You would just use the last sword that we used against the final boss once again, and we just also just stun lock him.
Yeah, it switches the angle for whatever reason of like the last quarter of his health. And that's gonna be time in a bit.
So yeah, time is
coming up.
And
now.
Time! And now we can watch the first final cutscene. This one is the same for both characters, and it is very dramatic. As oh no, the castle is exploding and collapsing. Whatever will we do?
The Death Star. Yes.
If you notice, they don't even really jump. They just fall off the balcony. And if you look at that angle, they are very far away from the water. Like, with just falling down their back, but there's no way they will land in the water. But there, this is Lynn's ending cutscene, and it is...
Yeah,
peak.
Focus on the ribbon. Focus on the ribbon. we are both very sure that this movie maker thing, like
it just clips through her hand. Like, I think this ribbon was needed by its people or something. But it is a backline. But yeah, that is the end of the run. This was Soul of the Samurai. It's a pretty fun one. The reason that I initially picked it up was because I run a lot of samurai games like Ghost of Tsushima, Rise of the Ronin, a lot of others, Trek to Yomi. And I was just, in the market for a speedrun that was a bit shorter than those, but because they all take like an hour at least, and more of the time, like 3 hours and more. And I just wanted to a short and sweet run that was also like a little bit funny. And I found this game, I picked it up, and it was really a joy to run. And I think for you it was kind of similar?
Yeah, I read in a magazine it's like a samurai Resident Evil, and it was around the time I was playing through the original trilogy, so I decided to pick this up for that. And I do sometimes like to run like weird or obscure PS1 games. Rising Zen, by the way, Samurai Gunman, a good.
Oh yeah, he showed those to me. They have samurai, so there might be a chance that we will cross swords again, so to speak. Speaking of that, I think this is actually the first time that two runners of this game have met in person. So thank you for ESA for accepting our relay of this.
This is also the first time, from what I know, when this game was featured in like a major marathon. So.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Also, very important is normally this category isn't run. I don't even think it is on leaderboards, because if people do like the true ending, they do it on New Game Plus.
It is on the leaderboard, but there are no runs, so we just witnessed a world record.
And it's not only a world record, it's also a co-op world record, which will probably never be beaten, because what is the chance of two runners of this game actually meeting up in an event again? So, yeah, that's pretty great. Starting the day off right here at ESA Summer 24. But yeah, I guess that is everything from us. Again, thank you for the organizers for having us here. Thank you to the community of this game, because there are actually quite a few runners out there getting the times down for this, sharing strategies and whatnot. I don't think there's a Discord actually, because it is a very small community and it's a very short game. But yeah, feel free to reach out if you want to learn this game. Go to speedrun.com and find us. And find our streams, most importantly. I guess you stream at
vojtas131 on Twitch.
On Twitch, and for me it is Ashma, but with an underscore at the end, because another guy got the true name at the start. I can't believe it has like 4 followers. What is this? Anyway.
I just want to give a quick shout out to everyone watching from home. Appreciate it, everyone. Waking up at this hour. Thanks. And yeah.
That's it.